talk about. If it ain't making money, ain't nothing to talk about. Keep my mind on them stacks, cause that green give you cloud. If it's bread making, baby, I'ma always throw that round. I done put my work in the streets, rapping shot on these beats. A lazy man gon' stop, but a grinder always gon' eat. Everybody can't do what I do, that's why I'm crushing your crew. From Chi-Town, Memphis, Tennessee, and all through the Lou. I'm so fresh and so new. Got a album too. I came out of nowhere and I'm taking all of these suckers' juice. I keep my promo on them clothes, keep that powder out my nose. I'm staying focused, with a million copies sold.
This Chicago
name. What's my name? Say my name.
King Kong ain't got shit on me.
I stayed on the scene, stayed on my green. Nobody told me how to rollin' with my team. Y'all know what I mean. It's money hungry fiends. Don't be thinking I'm smart, selling you a dream. But I stay grinding cause I'm bread making, homie. And they can't figure me out because they really don't know me. You got that bread to show me. My mama didn't name me Toby. These suckers want slaves, but I'm shaking them like Kobe. It's real. I'm the lion on the mill. I'm that hollow point tip, pointing at you, ready to kill.
King Kong ain't got shit on me.
The king is in the building, so you haters take a kneel.
This Chicago nigga.
Say my name. What's my name? Say my name.
This Chicago nigga.
Come on in, come on in, come on in. As you come in, hit the like button. Man, listen here. First of all, we got to keep it a buck. We got to keep it honest. We do have to tell the truth. But we also gonna make sure that the right perspective is given. That's just what I'm talking about. Here tonight on this show. You're gonna have a good time tonight. Yeah, boy. It's gonna be a good show tonight. Come on in and sit a little bit. Get you some goddamn popcorn. I know y'all got to go to the bathroom. My sister was over there and her and DeVar was blowing it up over there. You know what I'm saying? Doing the damn thing. Hey, look. I'm just telling y'all, man. Look. Don't drink the Kool-Aid. Do not drink the Kool-Aid. Listen. Do not drink the Kool-Aid. This is what it is. What's up, Omega? I see you in the building. As y'all come in, do me a favor. Like I said, hit the like button. And guess what, y'all? Tonight, you will hear from me tonight. See, y'all got to make sense to me. You got to make some sense to me. You have to make sense to me. When you make sense to me, I could be quiet and I could actually, listen to some maturity. When you make sense to me, I could actually sit there and listen to real truth statements. When you make some sense to me, I got enough sense to say, I'm going to be quiet on that, and I'm going to let this person get that on off. When you make sense to me. But when you can't makes sense to me. You cannot talk to me. You cannot say too many words out of the way because your ass is about to get handed to you. Tonight, we got to always keep things in perspective. Tonight, we're going to always keep things in perspective over what we talking about and the subject at hand. So welcome to the Gingerbread Man Show. This is Steady Serv'n Sports ENT, an extension of Simply Ball Dropping Podcast with my main man, K-Sap. What's up, K-Sap? Shout out to the Full Court Trio. Shout out to the Players Club. Shout out to Get That Off Your Chest podcast. Go over there, man. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. And please, man, please. All I really want to say is just keep the main thing the main thing. Keep the main thing the main thing. And hey, I'ma always do facts over feelings. I'ma always be able to do facts over feelings. And yeah, I got a lot of feelings invested in the WNBA. And yeah, I got a lot of facts invested in the WNBA. But it's about what you like. It's about what you desire. It's about what you need in your life. Real conversation in your life. We gonna burn the midnight oil tonight. We gonna burn this show up tonight. We also gonna open up the panel for anybody that got some sensible things to say. Because over this WNBA season, this has become a tiring situation. Over this WNBA season, we have seen multiple people get disrespected. We have seen multiple lies. We have seen multiple causes of confusion. You know, when you're a good person, you try to do the good things in life and the right things in life. Sometimes, they always say that the good person don't never win. They try to say that, it's a situation where me personally, want to really talk about the real things. I really want to talk about the jizz of bullshit. I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about the real stuff, the actual topics, the actual subjects, the actual things that matters. But in this season, we couldn't find things that mattered. In this season, we could not find things that really mattered. And it's a crazy situation where, man, basketball and the truth of it, the essence of it, it's all chewed up in actual flabbergasted ways. And you see certain things and certain people, and you see them become other than themselves over a simple basketball player, over a simple basketball game. Mainly Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. Mainly. Sophie Cunningham and others that are coming in the spotlight and making their ways on the highways on social media. When Angel Reese was the first WNBA player that was active to go and have her own podcast, most of you criticized her. Most of you talked crazy about her, but you praised Sophie Cunningham. And I know a lot of people be like, oh, bro, Claude, there you go with the race. But is it really? I don't. You tell me. Because if you have problems with the black girl and you don't have problems with the white girl, what is it? What actually is it then? It's more than, oh, I just don't like her. It's more than that. Because in what history of basketball you don't like great players? How in the history of basketball, in all the annals of time that basketball existed, you don't talk about the players that are breaking records, all of them, including Caitlin and Angel Reese? In what state of mind are you when you cannot officially or really significantly talk about the achievements and accomplishments of said people? I start off like this. Some minds are warped. Some minds need reconditioning. And some minds are just definitely cannot be retrained. So I want to say what's up to my boy Omega, Andy, and Real Money. I see y'all, up in here. As you fall in, as you come in, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. So welcome back to Steady Serv'n Sports ENT. Well, we don't just repeat the headlines. We break it down, put it on the court, and tell you what it really means. Tonight, the WNBA gave us history, controversy, ownership, pressure, and another culture war circus, trying to steal the spotlight from women actually playing basketball. Angel Reese tied one of the biggest records in the league history, reached 1,500 career points and broke another Atlanta Dream rebounding record. But her 8th technical foul could keep her out of Sunday's game against Minnesota. Portland walked into Atlanta and dropped 101 points on the Dream. Chicago Sky owner Michael Alter says he is not happy at all after missing the playoffs for the 3rd consecutive season. Royce White showed up at the Indiana Fever game wearing a long blonde wig as part of his supposed 2027 WNBA draft campaign. And we need to address the controversy involving former NBA champion Steven Jackson and Sophie Cunningham and former Fever guard Sydney Colson. I am going to tell you what Jackson said, and I'm going to play actually what Sydney Colson said on her podcast, and she's going to explain it all, because several social media channels are mixing separate comments together and presenting them as a direction of confrontation. Let's serve it up, baby. Let's begin with basketball. Atlanta Dream lost to Portland Fire 101-83, snapped Atlanta's 4-game winning streak. Portland did not sneak out with this victory. Portland came in to Atlanta, controlled the action, and put up triple digits on the team with championship ambitions. Carla Late and Emily Ingsler combined for 51 points. Atlanta had no consistent answer for their scoring, movement, and overall activity. Ryan Howard led the Dream with 26 points, but the biggest individual story belongs to Angel Reese. Reese finished with 16 points and 16 rebounds, 6 assists, and 2 steals. That gave her 28 double-doubles of this season, tying Alyssa Thomas' 2023 WNBA single season record. let that breathe for a moment. People have spent years trying to reduce Angel Reese to one skill. They said she was only a rebounder. They criticized her finishing. They mocked her offensive rebounds. They created the me bounce narrative. Meanwhile, she kept improving her game and stacking up records. Now she has 28 double-doubles in one season. She also reached 1,500 career points and established Atlanta Dream's single season defensive rebound record. That comes only days after she grabbed the WNBA record of 26 rebounds against Los Angeles and broke the league's single season total rebound record. We are no longer discussing whether Angel Reese is an elite rebounder. We are no longer discussing whether she is already the greatest rebounder in the WNBA has ever seen. And 6 assists matters too. Those 6 assists show that Angel Reese wasn't just hunting for her own numbers to put back into the rim. Portland brought pressure and multiple defenders towards her, and Reese tried to generate offense for her own teammates. That is evolution that Atlanta Dream needs. Rebounding the basketball, initiating transition, recognizing the double team, then finding an open shooter. However you want to look at it, you cannot ignore the other side. Atlanta surrendered a 101 points at home. The Dream defense rotations were late. Portland found too much space, and Atlanta could not string together enough stops to make a serious fourth quarter push. You cannot enter the playoffs relying on a historic performance from one player while surrendering 100 points a night. Atlanta's championship ceiling will be determined by defense, late game executions, and whether it's primarily players that can be and remain available. That brings us to the technical foul. The 8th technical foul happened tonight with a possible suspension. With 8 minutes and 45 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter, Reese was assessed a technical foul following contact with Portland guard Carla Late while they battled for position in the lane. The officials ruled Reese contact warranted a technical. Video appeared and showed the extended arm of her making contact with Late, but the disagreement is over whether the action deserves a technical foul. Should have it been treated as an ordinary physical contact during a live play? That's what I think. But you know how it is when you are looked and picked upon and tried to be depicted in this game, and how long Angel Reese has been fighting just for her own aggression. It says the tech is rescinded. She won't be suspended. All praises due to Allah. As I said, see, I love my I love my baby niece. Thank you. She wins. She comes with the news. She also helps me with this show. Listen, y'all, I tell y'all this. Because it was Reese's 8th technical foul of the regular season, the league's accumulation rule was triggered. If the technical had remained in place, Reese had faced an automatic game suspension, a $1,500 fine, missing Atlanta's home game against Minnesota on Sunday. However, the suspension was not absolutely final immediately after the game. The WNBA reviews the technical flagrant fouls and has the authority to rescind the foul, and this is what they have done. The distinction is important. Reese is in line to be suspended when she did that and the technical foul was called. The report is that she may miss a game, but the league had completed its review, and now that she wins, they have rescinded the call. The league previously rescinded the technical assess to Caitlin Clark that would have triggered the same penalty. Therefore, Atlanta has every right to submit the play and ask the league to examine whether this contact met a threshold of the technical. Here's my position. The league needs to judge the play itself. They needed Angel Reese reputation, previous technicals, and public reactions. They needed to rescind that technical foul because it's unwarranted. It's all about how the game is played. Is this exact contact would have earned another player a technical foul? No, it wouldn't have. It should not be simple for a referee to call, an official to call technical fouls consistently with an extension of contact when it is actually just a foul on a play. The consistency has to be a real issue in the WNBA. The consistency of the officials have to be consistent, because now we, over these last 40 games, cannot even trust the officials when they're calling games because it has been so unpredictable. And no, it has also been unprofessional. So if this was the case, once you have a technical foul, you are walking around with a a marginal error type of situation. Every reaction, confrontation, unnecessary extension becomes potential suspension. This does not mean Reese must stop playing with fire. Her intensity is part of the greatness that she is. She got an awesome motor, but control her aggression, uncontrolled frustration, and she has to be able to control her motor. Because some people end up getting ran over and they ask for a foul when they step right in front of her deliberately. Some people hang up off of her and see them hanging on her limbs, around her waist, bringing and pulling her hands, bringing her head back, hitting her on top of her head, knocking her down to the floor. Reese is a warrior. She battles underneath the rim. She knows what it takes to provide her team the energy that is needed. That means that she will never back down. So against Minnesota, Atlanta needs every available weapon, and I'm glad that she's there. The Lynx entered the stretch with the league's best record. And then if the technical would have stood, Atlanta would have been missing Angel Reese and only would have Ryan Howard, Alicia Gray, Naz Hillman, and of course, DeWanna Bonner is expected to play in this game. But being short of Reese kind of blows the entire plan up, especially it being a home game. Reese is one double-double away from owning the single season record outright. If she gets it in one more game, she will be the unanimous greatest rebounder, not only of the year, but of a player that has came in 3 seasons and have grabbed those type of rebounds. DeWanna Bonner arrives at the right time. Atlanta's newest addition, DeWanna Bonner, has joined the team. Bonner brings 2 championships, 6 all-star selections, and nearly 2 decades of professional experience. At 39, Atlanta is not expecting her to carry the offense for 35 minutes. The Dream need her leadership, length, positional versatility, and understanding of what a playoff basketball game requires. This is exactly why Atlanta added her. Reese is going to be available in Minnesota, so Bonner could also become part of the emergency solution that depends on her physical readiness and relentlessness, and how quickly she absorbs Atlanta's terminology and schemes. But Bonner's greatest value might come off the stat sheet. She understands how the playoff series change from one game to the next game. She knows how opponents attack weaknesses, how stars manage emotion and their emotional moments, and how championship teams respond after ugly losses. Atlanta just lost by 18 at home. That is when veteran leadership becomes real. Anybody can talk after a 5-game winning streak, but what happens after you get punched in the mouth like that? Bonner can help this young dream team understand that one bad loss does not erase its progress, but it's a response that must be immediate. We gonna play the Atlanta Dream response on here so it could be for recording. Come on in, hit the like button. I told y'all it's gonna be a good show tonight, y'all. Yeah, it's gonna be a good show tonight. Come on in. We gonna talk about it. Gotta move on. Listen, y'all. Here it is, Coach Ryan Howard and Nas Hillman talking about the shitty game that they played tonight.
Portland got off to a fast start today. What was it about how they played tonight that had y'all unable to win the game tonight?
Well, they just wanted it more, and apparently we weren't prepared to play for the duration of the game. We didn't really do much of anything to make any of their shots hard, and to slow a team down.
This is May Call with USA Today. I wanted to ask you about defending the paint tonight. I know you guys have talked about that over the course of the season, but Portland had 50 paint points tonight. What was hard, or either what were they doing that was effective in the paint tonight?
I think they were finding their open players, whether that be inside or outside. I think they started out making threes, and then we tried to pack the paint, or they started out hitting out threes, so then we spaced out, then they went inside, so they found their reads, and we, like Ryan said, we didn't make any of it hard.
Hi, ladies. Sydney Colson here. You guys have shown in the past your ability to learn from these mistakes in games like this, but then also turn the page, throw the game away, and bounce back. So what is a key component or key thing you guys are talking about in the locker room to kind of bounce back from this game in particular?
I mean, you can't get it back. Like, the game's over now. There's nothing further that we can do. We don't have any more time to try to continue that push. But we have the number one team coming in here in 48 hours. So you really have no choice but to move on to the next one.
This question's for either of y'all. You had a run in the third quarter. It was like you guys brought the deficit to 60-53, and then in the fourth quarter, you brought it within 6. What were some of the things that you guys were able to do differently then that you couldn't necessarily carry out throughout the rest of the game?
Yeah, I think we were able to get stops. I'm sure during that stretch we stopped turning the ball over. That was a big headache for us. I think we also got to the free throw line a little bit more than we had in that stretch, just trying to get downhill. I think they really tried to pack the paint. And when we went in there at that moment, we were able to get and ones, and that was a big reason why. So we got a couple of stops, stopped turning the ball over, and got a couple foul calls.
Hi, ladies. Stephanie Seda here. You had a few former teammates out there, namely Amy Okonkwo. What was it like to get to see her on the court and get to play against her tonight?
Yeah, it was great. Amy brought a lot of energy to this team. Great while she was here. We really enjoyed her. So it's good to see her continue her success in the league.
Hey, ladies, this question's for either one of you or both of you. DeWanna's obviously on the team now. Just what have you seen out of her game over the past few years, and what is it like to have her on the team?
I mean, her name's not in the record books for nothing. We know what she can do. We know what she's capable of, and we're excited to have her here. It's been a long ride trying to make her a dream, but now that it's finally happened, I think we can continue to make this push that we're making and, add a new threat that people weren't expecting.
You know, I talked a little bit earlier about your offensive about points in the paint, but I wanted to know about defensively. What were they doing to limit your points in the paint?
They really packed it in. I think at any given time, you knew that there were going to be two bodies in there. And so as we started to drive, they brought everybody and dared us to shoot the three.
Hey, ladies. Both of you guys had the garter tonight. How tough was it keeping up with Emily Engstler tonight?
I mean, I think she had some tough shots. She's a really good player. You know, I've been playing against her since college, so I know what she's capable of. But I think we did a pretty good job of making her take off-balance shots, and she just happened to hit them today. I think, again, once you get confident, it's hard to slow a player down. So early on, we didn't make anything very hard for anybody. And so once you start seeing shots go in, it's hard to make them miss after that.
Y'all play like crap. That's just a fact. You play like crap. You didn't do what you were supposed to. I'm not even playing Semesco for y'all because we already know what Semesco. I mean, chat. You know, I'm not harping on the man. I'm just telling y'all, you know, facts over feelings, man. I really hope we go deep with this guy being around, and I just know that at the end of the day, you gotta really pay attention to what's really happening as a coach. You gotta be able to, you know, understand what the hell is going on. You just have to. I mean, there's no other way around it. There's no other way that we can have that conversation or this conversation and we don't talk about the addressing of how the players played like shit, but also how the actual coaching was done, the scheme of things, if people would like to say, the actual scheme of the things and how you know you have that input of what the players need to do in the way that they need to perform. And if you see them not doing it, it's a time for you to go, hey, pay attention. No, bring it in. Come on, sit y'all $5 ass down, sit here, bring it in. This ain't what's happening right now. You got to be able to get their attention. Speaking of debacle, speaking of bad news, let us go to Chicago for a moment, just for a little while. Chicago Sky ownership is not happy, check. Oh, really? Is the Pink Panther in trouble? She wins? Is the Pink Panther in trouble? Could he be in trouble, chat? Let's see if the Marshmallow Man is actually in trouble. So, chat, now let's travel to Chicago in my city so I can bring y'all to my house. Chicago Sky principal owner Michael Alter reportedly said that he is unhappy about the organization missing the playoffs for the third consecutive season. Oh, you are? You are? And he said that he is unhappy. The Sky improved from the previous season, but improvement alone cannot become the permanent standard. At this point right now, the organization must move from celebrating development to demanding postseason basketball. Chicago has 3 possible paths, and I'm going to lay it all out to you. But the first thing is that Michael Alter, at this point, you You decided to put a developmental coach inside of a GM spot. Not make him be the coach. Because I wouldn't have mind, Chat, if the firing and the hiring, when James Wade left, they should have waited for Teaspoon. They should have waited because Teaspoon could have been the GM of this operation, since you really want to know, but you could have waited. But you put a developmental coach in a Hall of Famer who knows exactly what she's doing, who is a representation of greatness in women's basketball. You put a failure amongst the Hall of Famer. You did that, Michael Alter. Jeff Pagliosha couldn't hire himself. You hired him. You put him in that place. You were the one that had the discourse that was going on in the ultimate confusion that you could have spearheaded just like that. The general manager, Jeff Pagliosha, deserves credit for assembling young core featuring Camila Cardoso, Rickea Jackson, and Sydney Taylor. But the organization handling of the draft capital must be examined. Chicago has made moves that left the franchise without full control over valuable lottery opportunities during a historic wave of incoming talent. A rebuilding team without control of its premium picks is like having a studio with no microphone. You might have ideas, but you surrender one of the most important tools needed to execute any of it. The ownership believes the front office lacks coherent long-term plan. Alter could make a change right now if he was serious, my chat. The second path, change the coach. Coach Tyler Marsh also deserves evaluation. Chicago showed offensive improvement, particularly during a productive stretch in the second half of the season. The Sky reportedly went 5-3 in clutch games after All-Star break, which suggests a late game operation improvement. But questions remain about whether Tyler Marsh maximized his roster. Did he wait too long to elevate Sydney Taylor? I say yes. Did he identify his best closing lineup quick enough? I say no. Were the roles of the players clear to them and how they supposed to have the responsibilities to have executed what he wanted? I say no. Was the late game execution good enough? Most of the time and throughout this season, I say no. Did he develop an offense that consistently placed Cardoso in position to dominate? 14 games. She came out with 14, now 15 double-doubles. Those 15 games, he played responsible for the type of center that Camila Cardoso is. There's a fair question here that I'm going to ask everybody in the chat. If firing another coach without an improvement of the organization around that coach, will it really restart the same cycle? Will it really get things into its place? Or, chat, should we just blow it all up altogether? My answer to the second path: fire Tyler Marsh, fire Jeff Pagliosha in my first two paths. But I know you're going to say, bro, Claude, wait a minute, hold on, wait a minute. That's going to send Chicago to ground zero. They already at ground zero. What are you talking about? They already are at ground zero. What are you talking about? My third path. Keep the leadership and build a real infrastructure. This is my preferred option. This is the way I see it. Providing ownership and establishment. Hey, baby, establish clear teammates. Establish clear benchmarks. Establish what really needs to happen. Fire Jeff Pagliosha. Fire Tyler Marsh. And begin another season fresh. And stop putting people in places or inferior coaches and GMs in the place of great players that you will have. In order to build a dynasty, you have to have a dynamic where dynasties can be built. Chicago needs an experienced assistant general manager and a manager. He needs the GM that they bring in next has to also have an assistant. They didn't have one. Jeff Pagliosha had no alternate. He had sole autonomy for this team. A deeper scouting department. The scouting department has done good by Sydney Taylor being able to be brought to this team. That was a good thing by Jeff Pagliosha that he actually sits his hat on. While he gets rid of Angel Reese, who's having a historic season and a historic all-time great year. Dedicate himself to the salary cap and the CBA expertise. Somebody that can actually get those numbers, put those numbers, get the adequate players, and be able to really use the finances to get an operational team that can go and flow into its greatness. More analytics and personal attention. Better player development resources for Camila Cardoso. Better player development for Sydney Taylor. Better player development for Rickea Jackson. Better player development for the incoming personnel. A dependable practice facility solution. Because even now, it's still not done. And now, we have now started to enter September. We have now entered September, and we were told last year that the facility would be done last December. We're about to touch December right now, chat. And the season is 6 games from ending, or less. As we get people who goes by and drives by the facility, it looks some ways of like this. This is what it looked like, chat. Yeah, they got the ceiling lit up, but they still working in that boy. They still haven't finished some of those rooms. They still have drywall up. I'm going to go past there, and I'm going to take my camera past there so that you guys can actually see what is really going on over there. Y'all know how I walked around that facility. Gave y'all the news. I'm going to do it again for you so you can actually see. Have a clear offensive identity centered around Camila Cardoso, Rickea Jackson, and Sydney Taylor. Alter cannot simply say he is unhappy. He has to take responsibility for all of the things that has happened in Chicago over the last 4 to 5 years. He has to take ultimate responsibility for what has happened and transpired over the last 2 decades. Because this is all Michael Alter. All of the great players, all the way down to Elena Daladon and all of the other great ones, don't want anything to do with the Chicago Sky. There are players that's reluctant just to come here. Chicago traded Angel Reese to Atlanta, and Reese is now breaking league records and preparing for the playoffs. That places even more pressure on Chicago's Jeff Pagliosha and Tyler Marsh's evaluation of such. The leadership must improve. The leadership must be let go and redirected to what we really need as a serious organization to be able to compete. Because guess what, y'all? In my mind of champions, in my mind of positions,
The Chicago nigga.
so we don't take no second or nothing. We ain't talking about no second or anything. This no longer can be accepted. This no longer can be tolerated. You trade the biggest player in the WNBA. You trade the biggest player that you've ever had on your roster that is bigger than the WNBA. No longer we can revisit another lost season. No longer we can revisit the Fugazi arrangement that they have done. Camila Cardoso can become an elite two-way center if only she had an elite trainer. People are expecting Camila to do this and they're expecting Camila to do that when she has to get it out the mud. Soon as Angel Reese go over to Atlanta Dream and those people that they do have in place, Hall of Famers and elite people, Angel Reese is now, not only was she breaking records in Chicago, she's dominating right now. Camila Cardoso needs that type of people around her. Rickea Jackson was having a breakout season before an ACL injury. And she was on her way, which I told y'all that she was going to be an all-star if she stayed healthy. Sydney Taylor emerged as a legitimate score option for this core. Now that you have gotten rid of Angel Reese, and now you got Camila Cardoso, Rickea Jackson, and Sydney Taylor, bright stars right there in front of your face. What do you do with them? Are you now going to fumble Sydney Taylor? Are you now going to fumble Rickea Jackson and Camila Cardoso also? You'll be the biggest fumbler in the history of WNBA basketball, which you are almost there right now outside of Los Angeles. This questions whether Chicago possesses an organizational discipline to turn things around. Can Chicago be a dynasty? Well, Rickea Jackson said that she thinks that Chicago can be a dynasty and she invested in herself. Camila Cardoso and Sydney Taylor can turn this ultimately around and says that in this article that has been written. She said that they can have a dynasty, and her mind is when she comes back to be on that trajectory. Is this overstepping or over, projecting? No. We want a great player to say that they want a dynasty. We want a great player to say that they want to come back and put the franchise back in order in the way that it's supposed to be, and have Chicago be back at the top of things and conversations, not only just because you're the third most watched team in the WNBA, you're the third most watched team because everybody was laughing at you and looking at what you would look like after getting rid of Angel Reese. Yes, they acquired baddies in Chicago. Yes. They have been doing a lot of things to readjust themselves, to try to put themselves in a win-now situation, but all of those craps have failed short. Oh, Bro Claude, if Chicago doesn't get their sheet together or get to the playoffs, sis, Rikia will be requesting a trade. Absolutely. So now for the clown shit. See, chat, the clown shit is going on right now in the WNBA. And I hate to be covering the clown shit, but the clown shit must have its spotlight, because the last subject of before I bring the panel up is about Jackson and Sydney Colson. But here's something that stems with just tonight with the circus of Royce White bringing the circus to Indiana. The former NBA first-round pick, Royce White, attended the Fever Suns game in Cambridge Fieldhouse wearing a long blonde wig. White said he was there to support the WNBA, support the Fever, and scout some of his competition. That appears what was connecting him in being able to enter the 2027 WNBA draft. Let us be accurate about what is happening. White has said he identifies as a woman for the purposes of entering the WNBA draft as a threatened potential discrimination litigation in the league rules that let him be able to be eligible. Former NBA player Enes Kanter Freedom has made the similar declaration. Reports citing the league sources say both men are considered ineligible. The WNBA collective bargaining agreement states that only women are eligible to play in the league. However, White's representative claimed that they have not received a direct formal determination from the league at the time of their public comments. The league has described the surrounding campaign as a bad faith effort or a publicity stunt, which we all know. There has never been known of a transgender player in the WNBA history, meaning White is using a hypothetical policy debate to attract attention for himself and applying pressure to the league and making a fun house for it to be an example. People are entitled to seriously discuss about illegitimacy, competitive categories, and fairness in women's sports. Those subjects require clear rules, scientific expertise, legal review, and honest conversation. But arriving courtside in a wig and mocking gender identity does not create the serious discussion. It creates content. It creates clout chasing. Notice that I will give them, watch your head, boy. Watch your head. Because notice what happens. Angel Reese ties his historical record by but part of the WNBA's conversation becomes the former NBA player wearing a wig in the stands. That is a hustle. Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell made historic jumps. But we're talking about a man in a wig, just a hustle. White receives national exposure without playing one WNBA minute. Media companies receive clicks. Political commentators receive another segment. Meanwhile, the actual women playing professional basketball become props of someone else's campaign. And if White wants a formal ruling, he and his lawyers can pursue the process. But the league also needs to provide a direct transparent answer, so the stunt cannot continue to be feeding all on the sideline. So this led me to a situation with Sydney Colson. But first, the attention of what this guy doing, he's taking attention away from what really matters. What really matters, that it is a minimal celebration because, of course, the whole team stunk it up, but it does require an acknowledgement of my baby goat. Here you go, teaspoon talking.
Take a look at her stat line here. In 25 at 14, now this season she's at 16 with the Dream. Field goal attempts 11 to 13. So now that you're telling me that they're going through her a little bit more, being that offensive hub, and then that the three-point attempts.
Double.
She's shooting it now.
Yeah.
She's shooting. This is a level of confidence that you see in her because now she's shooting. She's trusting her work. You see that she's trusting her work here. That sends your game to another level when you trust your work. Yep. And then what I like the most is getting to that free throw line. When you get to that free throw line this much from last year to six times a night, that tells me there's a level of aggression from her to get to that free throw line.
Which also goes back to what you were talking about, confidence, because we know sometimes players, they shy away from drawing the contact because they don't want to get to the free throw line. This is not the case with her. Now, you coached Angel.
Yes.
What have you seen in terms of the growth? Numbers are there. You showed us with the video. You can speak firsthand about it.
This is so good that you say that because coaching her, she's a coachable young lady. She wants to be great and she understands those little things that's so important. You have to be detailed, and she's a detailed athlete knowing what she must do for her team to be successful. She's a team player. And then the great thing is now she's finding and understanding where that pass may go because now this game is slowing down for her to be able to see it and then react to it.
Yeah, I mean, that is a whole different level. And obviously she came into this league as an all-star. That's nothing new. But what we're seeing now is a more complete game. And that is what you want out of your best players. You want them to continue to evolve.
Complete player and a very confident player. And the things that she's adding to her game now makes her an unpredictable athlete. Ooh. So now it's no longer just underneath the basket, rebounding. She's now has added the addition to her game of perimeter, outside the arc, trusting that, then putting it on the floor, drawing and finding. She's making herself very difficult to defend.
This is what I love to see. This is what I want to talk about. But we have to talk about bullshit. We have to talk about Sydney Colson and Stephen Jackson going at it with each other. We have to talk about it because it really matters. Why it matter, bro, Claude? Because you seen it? No, I'm telling you that this here has to stop. This got to stop. And it has to have people like myself point it out. The podcast with Sydney Colson is called Criticize Transparency Unsupervised. So unsupervised, Sydney Colson came up and she said her say. She said what she said, and she told Steve Jackson a couple of things and got it up off her chest. Before we go there, though, you know what I mean? Because she got it off her chest, though. Sydney Colson, y'all know she funny as hell, but she ain't no punk. So, Steven Jackson, let's clean up this part because several online videos are combined different events. Steven Jackson publicly supported Sophie Cunningham's position that women's sports should maintain a product women's category. In clips circulating from his commentary, Jackson criticized the wider controversy of describing aspect of the situation as foolish, using blunt language along the lines of people being stupid for turning the matter into chaos. Jackson's central point was that Cunningham should be allowed to express her position and that the league lacks its decisive leadership allows outside figures like the leadership of Cheryl Reese and Natalie Nakasa could have nipped it in the bud. You dig what I'm saying? Stephanie White, all of them could have nipped it in the bud. But outside figures, politician campaigns, and political stunts to dominate this conversation. Some social media channels then connected Jackson's comments to Sydney Colson's because Colson's earlier post followed Dejanay Carrington's flagrant foul on Cunningham. After Carrington struck Cunningham in the face during a transitional play and was assessed a flagrant 2 foul, Colson posted, "I love the trans foul." The post created immediate backlash. Some people interpreted trans foul as Colson celebrating Cunningham's being hit because Cunningham had spoken against transgender participation in the women's sports. Colson later explained that it was not intended as wordplay or shortened reference of transitional foul, and now not an endorsement of Cunningham being injured or struck in the face. That is Colson's stated explanation. Now, people can decide whether they believe this the joke was funny, responsible, or appropriate. Timing matters. When a former teammate has just taken hard contact to the face and is bleeding, posting a double entree connection of explosive political controversy is almost guaranteed to be interpreted as a celebration of the moment. Colson is known for her comedy. Everybody know that Sydney Colson is a funny motherfucker. All of us, even us in the chat that does know Sydney Colson, all the way when she played Las Vegas and also when she won before the championship she won with Las Vegas, when she won over with the last team that she was with when she won a championship then. The podcast with TP, the humor and chaotic banter of a central type of podcast show. Being a comedian does not remove accountability to how public statement lands. At the same time, we need to avoid interaction and confrontation that's available by reporting dishonest establishments. I could never verify evidence Stephen Jackson and Sydney Colson directly spoke to each other or even really had an exchange with each other. But what can be verified, Jackson defended Cunningham's right to voice her position. Jackson criticized the league-wide handling of the controversy. I did also. Colson posted, I love trans foul. She was talking about it was a transitional foul. She was not talking about, but we'll get into that. But anyway, people like to play and be messy. And they know exactly what Sydney Colson was talking about, those of us that watch basketball. Monte Colson explanation is plausible because transitional foul is a real basketball phrase. But the double meaning was obvious. What other people took it, likely she was, she also made a joking matter. You could not physically or potentially say that Sydney Colson joke was unreasonable. She's a woman. She recognized what happened. She understood what went on. But I'm gonna let Sydney Colson have her say.
And I don't know what the I don't know what the issue is with him, but so yeah, like we want all the smoke with you. I don't know why it is that you felt the need to come into my comment section when you don't follow me to like incite transphobia, but like it's super scary. And I went on your page to see your dumb takes and like just like you're trying to figure out your like overall logic, and it's super embarrassing, which is why I put you on my story calling you a loser, and also DM'd you, because it's wild to me that somebody like you who was protesting their friend dying at the hands of state violence, and those same people that perpetrate the state violence are the same ones pushing this agenda and pushing the fear mongering of transphobia and acting like trans women are about to come take over the league, and you're siding with that loser dude, and you don't even have a point. Y'all don't even actually have a point. There's no point to be made, which you can look at our prior videos where we were calling him a loser, and then just throw yourself into that category now, because I can't even believe that you would step up in our shit, because it wasn't just me that you came talking shit on my page and then just ran.
No, speaking of,
I also found out on the way here,
he did
TP didn't even know who you
No, I had
who
no
you
idea
were.
you
Like,
were.
and
I saw that not only this was the post that we said that if you aren't down for an inclusive league, then you can start your own league for non-inclusivity by yourself. He took the time to comment under that post saying, let the gay women that want to play with trans start their own league. Leave the WNBA alone. Women's National Basketball Association. The world has lost common sense. Yeah, I hate when people say something so wrong, but also say like, yeah, everybody else has no common sense. So I had to comment back, obviously, in the most monotone way and say, well, you see, common sense would actually tell you that the majority of the WNBA doesn't feel intimidated by a trans argument that has a total of 0 cases in league history, LOL. So common sense should tell you that the non-inclusive players should leave to start their own non-inclusive league. And it seems like they'll have at least one fan in you. Also, thank you for spelling out what the WNBA stands for. I had no idea.
Unsupervised.
So I'm gonna just tell y'all straight up, chat. I stay out of women's spaces and I stay out of women's faces when it comes to their categories. See you later, baby. I stay out of faces and spaces that I don't belong when it comes to female. And then you all already know me. I'm not going to too much go back and forth with no female. I'm not finna be doing that. I mean, seriously, I'm not going to be trying to go back and forth with no female to prove that I'm right. I don't have to show my aggression to prove that I'm right. I'd rather shut it down. You know what I mean? It's my opinion. I could be right, but I could be wrong too. I could be wrong, but I could be right too. You get what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? Myself in particular, feel like this is a non-fucking factor to me. This is a matter of nothing. It means nothing. Zilch, nada, not a goddamn thing. And we up in here playing around with transgender talks and homophobiality and all of this bullshit. No, I'm not with that. I'm not into it. But I talked about it so y'all can hear from my opinion, because I've been covering it when it first bust out. So I just have to go ahead, you know what I mean, unfortunately, and have my goddamn say. But y'all, I was gonna have an open panel tonight. I was gonna have a open panel tonight, but I done got me a serious headache, y'all. In the midst of this, right, y'all seriously, my ears is ringing right now. So I'm gonna shut it down because my ears are actually ringing as we speak. I'm not, I don't know. I know y'all see my eyes and shit. But yeah, man, I came up here to actually have a panel and burn the midnight oil with y'all. But you know what I mean? I'm not feeling like really coherent right now. My ears is actually ringing as we speak. But yeah, man, I'll say this. This has no place in women's basketball. This has no place and no reason that people are talking about a wig put on a man walking around there, a stadium, talking about he a transgender man. Hey, baby. It really has no place, nowhere. So, guys, we should be talking about how great of a game Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin Clark had and putting away the Connecticut Sun in the fashion and the double-doubles that was done by Caitlin and Angel. We should be talking about how the Fire beat one of the top teams that's going into the playoffs and top ranked teams in the whole WNBA. We should be talking about how Angel Reese continued to play every single game and make history. In every single game, she breaks another record. We should be talking about those type of things. But you get all messed up and drawn up in this bullshit. We should be talking about and discussing how terrible Chicago actually is and what should be happening for Chicago to change the trajectory of what the hell is going on. So for me, all that transgender bullshit ain't got nothing to do with nothing.
Hey there.
Hey, baby, did you buy that shea butter that smell good?
You know I brought some Bread House butters.
Got a package for you.
From your favorite part, T. Camilla.
Oh my gosh, thank you. I've been waiting for this.
You are very welcome. Have a great day.
Bread House Butters and Essentials keeps my skin looking good and smelling good. Their pineapple and mango scented shea butter are my favorite.
So chat, do me a favor. If you have not felt the shea butter, man, like mine, I also got a shea butter spray. Ooh, 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 ooh. Yeah, baby. That sheen, shine, heal, treat, moisturize. Man, when you even open the cap, oh my goodness gracious. Put your order in, man. Go to the website, put your order in, support the entrepreneur, you know what I mean, of the hood, and support the best whip shea butter you can ever put on your body. That's made and designed by me and my family. Y'all, listen. I'll be back tomorrow. I don't know exactly what time. I don't know what games tomorrow. I think the Chicago Sky play tomorrow. Let me see. We'll be on the Players Club tomorrow. WNBA. Tomorrow games. New York. Oh, New York and the Chicago Sky play tomorrow. Oh shit. At 12 o'clock. So I'll be here early. Chat. I'll be here at 12 to talk about the game and run it down, baby. And then the Temple and the Mercury play. No one cares about that. And then we got big games on Sunday. The Lynx and the Dream go at it. The Sparks and the Storm go at it. The Bottom Feeders, the Valkyries play the Fire. I don't know. The Fire playing like they making a statement. They don't care nothing about no end of season. This their first year. They gonna play their first year all the way out and collect as many wins as they can. They just proved it tonight. The Wings and the Suns play tomorrow, which we ain't caring about that. We know that I expect Dallas to win that game, but I'll be, play Sunday night. But I expect for the Wings to win. But tomorrow, 12 o'clock, meet me on Steady Serv'n Sports ENT. So I'll be going over the game. And also, chat, I got new channels. My new channel is right there on my ticker. Steady Serv'n Bulls Basketball. Steady Serv'n Bears Football Podcast. And then get that off your chest. Go over to my podcasts. Support, man. I ain't seen y'all hit the subscribe button. It's free, y'all. Go to the Steady Serv'n Bears Football Podcast, man. Show me some love. I'm going to talk about the whole entire NFL. That's just my football channel. You dig what I mean? So go over there and support. And then, of course, Steady Serv'n Bulls Basketball. I'm going to be talking about Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Derrick Rose, and all of the greats that came through. You know what I mean? From Dennis Rodman and Horace Grant and all of those things, going over the history of what I experienced in my time of being a youth, growing up with Chicago, winning championships here in the 90s. So most definitely come over to the podcast. And then, of course, all the coverage of Caleb Williams. You know what I mean? I made this shirt. And then, chat, I also want to give thanks to you guys. I want to give thanks to you guys on here, because you guys are very special to me, showing me love. We 50,000 strong, baby. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the subscriptions. And thank you for always being here for me and listening to me, even on this Friday night. We shining bright. Bars. Yeah, man. Listen, y'all them took me over the threshold. Really, 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 really appreciate everybody and what they've been doing. It's a celebration for everybody. It's a celebration, and I appreciate you. Here you go. Yeah, man. 50,000. 50,000. This is what y'all did. Spread the word. Let them know that I'm growing. Let them know that this is the best podcast That's right, and the best and the hardest working brother on YouTube. Support. Hit the like button, subscribe, man. Go to my other channels. You see them in the ticker. And guess what, y'all? Much love to everybody. And this is just for me and my team. We leave as we came with another banger. Love y'all so much in the chat. Love my people, man. Love my mods. Love my subscribers. Love the ones who has joined and become members. I love you all. So I gotta go ahead and play a record for y'all because it's gonna always be right here for you, me, and everybody else.
Love will be right here. Fresh off the plane and I'm smiling, cause I'm about to see the shorty I'm styling. Been away for a while, plus the flight was long. It feels good to be home. I ain't gon' front up and thinking of you, and how them hips look good in baby blue. The sight of you make me hit the ceiling, make me wanna show you how a thug be feeling. I can't lie, shorty, make my heart race. I'm feeling for them lips every time I see her face. So when I'm gone, it ain't nothing to feel. I'll be across the globe, girl, but I'll be right here. Right here. Go ahead. I ain't going nowhere. I ain't going nowhere. Cause your love is all I need. Do you remember the first time that I met you, girl? I was destined to be a part of your world. The way we met was meant to be, and how them brown eyes was into me. Ginger Man was a player.